Okay, so the problem statement is that the construction project requires the involvement of a large group of stakeholders. So as there are many people in the construction project, it frequently results in conflict, which affects the construction progress. Therefore, goals and relationships are jeopardized due to conflicts. The main stakeholders that are involved in construction projects are clients and contractors. So this study highlights on the conflicts of client and contractors in construction projects in Klang Valley. So this study is important to eliminate potential conflicts in a construction project. Next, for the objectives of the study, the first objective is to identify the factors influencing the conflicts of client and contractor in a construction project. Next is to determine the effects of client and contractors' conflicts to the construction progress. And lastly is to recommend the strategies to improve the relationship between client and contractor. For the scope of work, it focuses on client and contractors' conflict in construction projects in Klang Valley. This is because Klang Valley is one of the most developed areas in Malaysia, and there are many large complicated construction projects. The data was collected by questionnaire and distributed to contractors that are in grade G4 to G7, and then was analyzed by using IBM SPSS statistics. The tested parameters for this project is the factors, effects, and solutions of conflicts. The limitation in the study is that it only received feedback from the contractor's point of view. Therefore, there is no opportunity to get any additional information from the client. Next, for the significance of the study is that it improves the client and contractor practices in construction projects. This is important to avoid disagreements and reach the goal of the construction project. Um, this study can also persuade the client to be more involved in the construction project. So contractor may benefit from faster responses, clearer orders, and sufficient time and resources for all stages of the project. And when conflicts are prevented, client may benefit by having greater satisfaction towards the project progress, on-time project delivery, and high-quality project. This helps in developing more effective strategies in improving the relationship between both of the parties. Next, for the literature review, um, the literature review is based on three sources, which are articles, journals, and theses. So for the first part is the factors influencing the conflict of client and contractor in a construction project, such as poor communication, delay in payments, slow decision making, modifications in contract, incompetent contractors, lack of partnership cooperation, and poor administration process. The next part is for the effects of conflict, such as project delay, lack of trust and hatred, cost overrun, high volume of complaints and blame shifting, abandonment of project, reputational damage, and reputational damage. And the third part is the strategies to improve the relationship between the client and contractor, such as maintaining a high degree of professionalism by ensuring the client fulfilling the obligation and contractor deliver high quality of work, and encouraging openness and transparency, which can build a relationship based on trust, and understanding the needs of client, which can strengthen the relationship and communication, and also having adequate project documentation to help stay organized, and also be committed to the project by which can produce a higher productivity and a more engaged team. Next, for the gap of the study is that most studies were based on other countries. Therefore, there were not many sources that specifically talk about Klang Valley. So limited their focus on effects and solutions of conflicts compared to the factors of conflicts between client and contractor. Next, for the methodology. Methodology, the research title, problem statements, and objectives. And for the literature review, it is based on article, journal, and thesis. And during the FYP one, a pilot study was also conducted. For the data collection, a questionnaire was distributed to the contractors, which consists of multiple choice question and also a 5-point Likert scale question. And then the data from the questionnaire was analyzed using IBM SPSS statistics. And after the data was analyzed, it was discussed and a conclusion was made to highlight the importance of from the findings, and recommendation was made to improve to provide future researchers of any improvements that can be made if they conduct a study that is like this. Next, for the results and discussion, first, the descriptive analysis was used to obtain the frequency distribution of respondents. So based from the data, the gender of respondents mainly consists of male with 62%, and the age of respondents are mainly from the age range of 18 to 29 years old. For the grade of company, uh, grade G6 mostly consists of the respondents, and mostly the respondents are from site engineers with 32%, and the years of experience mostly are from 6 to 10 years. For the analysis, the factors of conflicts between client and contractor was ranked. So from this table, it can be seen that the top rank factor is that poor communication between client and contractor often leads to misunderstanding on the requirement of the project, with the highest mean of 4.94. And the lowest rank factor is the deadlines for design completion are too short with 4.3. For the standard deviation, the lowest standard deviation is statement 1, which is poor communication. And also the highest standard deviation is the deadlines for design completion are too short, which means that when the standard deviation is higher, meaning that there are more wider range of responses. So not many responses agree on this statement. For the next part is the effects of client and contractor conflicts to the construction progress. The top rank effect is claims and lawsuits are filed when the end result does not meet the contract requirement. It also has the lowest standard deviation of 0.198. And the lowest rank one is the project is delivered in poor conditions such as sorry is there is a lack of trust and hatred between the client and contractor, which reduces the productivity in workplace, which also has the highest standard deviation of 0.631. So when the standard deviation is lower, meaning that most of the respondents agree on the statement. Next is the strategies to improve the relationship between client and contractor. So the top ranked strategy is that each party must be aware of the causes of conflicts and try to solve them as soon as possible. And the lowest rank is the roles and duties of members must be clearly defined in the early stages of the project. Next, uh, there was
Nabila,
also
can you make it fast to the
okay.
conclusion? Okay, because time's almost up.
Uh, okay. So this part should I explain?
No need, you can make a conclusion, I think, based on your
Oh,
findings.
okay. Okay. So based on the findings, the objectives are achieved to obtain the factors, effects, and solutions of conflicts between client and contractor. And some of the recommendations that I have suggested is that consider a wider range of conflict aspects such as contractual and technical aspects, and also maybe expand the scope of research to other parts of Malaysia so that maybe we can explore more factors, effects, and solutions of conflicts to the construction projects in Malaysia. And also maybe consider the involvement of clients to fully understand the conflicts from both perspectives. That is all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Nabila Shamimi, for your presentation. Okay, Mr. Elmi, do you have any comments? Can you give
Okay,
comment first
thank you.
before?
Thank you, Dr. Mazlina, and thank you, Nabila, for your presentation. So my first question is not regards to this uh, 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 presentation, but more to your report. Can you please in the report when you
Yeah.
publish this certain numbers or certain result, especially with regards to the standard deviations and so on and so forth, can you
Okay.
explain a little bit more on why does you need that standard deviations, and what does the standard deviation represent? So I think that one might affected on some of your discussion, whereby you will actually exaggerate more on these findings. So I think for this short time, I'll write something in the recommendation for you to not to add up more, but just to refine the discussion on the discussion part. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. So, Dr. Mazlina.
Okay, is it that's all? All
Oh
right,
yeah.
so my part, Nabila, I look at your content of your report. For the chapter one, you mentioned about the, because when you talk about the conflicts, you must discuss about dispute. Okay, so at the beginning I saw it, but during discussion you just mentioned what about the results, but you didn't discuss much on why the result is like that. Okay, so I already highlighted in the report, okay, what you can improve if to improve your report in terms of the content of your discussion part. Okay, so is you need to critically discuss on the results. Okay, especially about the conflicts. Okay, I see the finding is about poor communication, is about have payment. Okay, and you must understand that this conflict there is how to solve. You mentioned, you said the recommendation, can the objective number
Yeah.
3, But the objective number 3 is not really being well discussed in the your report. So I hope that you can improve that part, okay? And you should include about the CIPA. You know, there is a CIPA about the act related to the payment, which is this is also one of the how so called as a reference for the contractors, okay, to solve the conflicts related the, because I know the your research are quite general, but it's okay. There is a findings there, but it's just like you need to discuss more and based on the previous research findings. Okay. So there is also why you use the Likert scale in the research method. You mentioned there, but you did not mention any citation there. Why did you choose to use the 5-point Likert scale? Okay, they must have the citation. You explain why, but you didn't mention who mentioned about that. Okay?
Okay, doctor.
The one you missing, okay? And then there is a few things in the report that you can refer, just like I add another information about why you need to discuss how about the types of the project, because the complexity of the project, the conflicts also depends on the complexity of the project, but you didn't, the sampling method, you didn't mention about the types of project. You just mentioned about the size of the company, the grade, right? G4, G7. And you mentioned because G4, G7 is a complex, handle a complex project, but what types of project? You also have to highlight. Is it this company, what kind of project they handle? Is it the high-rise building? Is it the infrastructure? Because it's different. Okay, the conflicts are different based on the types of project. Okay, clear, Nabila? Then one you have to, maybe you can
Yeah.
put under scope of limitation and so on, okay? So you must
Okay.
highlight the types of project as well. Okay, I think that's all.
Okay.
Anything else, Mr. Elmi?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right, so that's all,
Okay.
Nabila. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor.
All right, baik. Assalamualaikum. How to
Sama
contact?
channel
Satu channel. Macam mana
Okay.
nak suruh yang lain tu masuk?
Hmm.
I dah email tapi tak tahu, tak ada pun orang WhatsApp I. Ada dia orang WhatsApp you
They
tak?
were supposed to enter the same link, nanti you kena approve. Tapi Nabila ni dia kena keluar
Tak.
dulu lah. Betul lah. Dia keluar masuk lah.
Okay, Nabila try keluar leave. Tak
Wah,
ada.
sejak duduk dalam awal ya.
Sorry,
You tekan F kot.
Doktor, Sir Elmi nak tanya.
Saya.
Hello?
Yes,
Ya,
yes.
ya, ya.
We can hear. Tak.
Hello?
Bukan kita nak tanya. We want you to leave actually. We want to let other student to get in. Do you have any questions?
I just want to ask Sir Elmi
Okay.
for the recommendation form. Should I send through WhatsApp?
You send to me and write it down what I recommend.
Hello?
And then, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Send the recommendation letter, recommendation form to me, and then put my comment there, and I will amend it and
Okay.
send it back to you. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, doctor.
You can send even in WhatsApp. Much more easier for me
Okay.
to respond. Okay.
Okay.
Tu nak bilang. Macam
Wah,
mana ni?
sejak duduk dalam awal datang.
Hello. Aku duduk luar pun aku duduk awal kot.
Yalah kan, duduk dalam nampak ceria sikit kan.
Mana ni diorang?